Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today we're gonna see which of these two players gets to live high off the hog. Get it? As Survivalist playing as the Armenians in red gets ready to take on the Bloodless playing as the Saracens in blue. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to feudal, probably castle age. Who's kidding who on Arena? Not a bad time for us. Ooh, look at this. A very confusing situation with Ibex. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today. But before we get even into that, a big apology. I am coming down with another cold, which is not surprising. My toddler has had a fever for the last little while, so I do apologize. The intro wasn't quite as raspy, wasn't quite as thunderous as I wanted it to be, and my voice may sound a little congested, although that's definitely not going to stop me from casting these two players and these two civilizations. Okay, Survivalist having a little bit of trouble with his Ibex. Is he going to push? Is he going to keep bouncing back and forth? Did he even really need to move the scout? I feel like the Ibex was just bouncing between two spots over and over again. And anyway, in any event, enough silliness. The Armenians, primarily an infantry civilization to start with. All of their infantry units come with extra line of sight, and almost all of them are available in Age earlier, which means spearmen in the Dark Age, long swordsmen, pikemen in feudal, and two-handed swordsmen, champions, and even halberdiers in the Castle Age. Now, those very same infantry units, except for the spearman line, which kind of like skirmishers are always left out of these upgrades, well, they can be upgraded to get a big plus 30 HP boost, and their first unique unit is the Warrior Priest, a unit that blurs the line between Man of War and Man of Peace. Being an infantry unit, they can actually heal friendly units, gather relics, but also kick a good fair share of ass. Now, to support their slower moving bipedal army on the battlefield, oh my goodness, Survivalist, let me get through this intro. Double Ibex push. Well, get this guy. Oh my goodness, what a sour, unfortunate end to an amazing double pushable push. I mean, that is something that rarely happens in any event. To support their slower moving bipedal infantry army on the field of battle, the Armenians can field a second unique unit, the Composite Bowman. This is a foot archer whose attack ignores the armor of all land units except for siege. Now, to help the Armenians get their military industrial complex up and running ASAP, the first fortified church they build comes with a free relic. Their mule carts are 25% cheaper, and their mule cart technologies are a little bit, maybe not a little bit, 40% actually is a lot of it, more effective, which means more productive Armenian miners and lumberjacks. Now let's take a look at the Saracens. Speaking of cool civilizations, a civ whose strong market can be used to gain an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with their markets, the actual structure itself only costs 75 wood, and their commodity trading fee is fixed at a very low 5%, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civs have to pay early on, let's say. Now, this economic advantage allows the Saracens to field quite a hard-hitting, tanky army. Their foot archers come with an attack bonus against buildings, which even on a closed map like this may be a dangerous feature. Their camels come with more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, and their onagers can all be upgraded to increase their attack in their first unique unit. Their only unique unit, the Mameluke, is a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a pretty darn big attack bonus against cavalry, so perhaps not something we're going to get to see against the Armenians. Now, if it sometimes happens in this game, you take a battle, you take a fight, an engagement somewhere out on the map, and not all of your units die, some of them are injured, well, Saracen monks can be upgraded to automatically and passively heal multiple units nearby simultaneously at a ridiculous rate of 75 HP per minute. So these are the two civs we've got. Super cool. Let's take a look at the map itself. At this point, do I really need to say why I wanted to cast the game between Survivalist and the Bloodless? I mean, I've done so many live streams. We watched so many games. These are my, let's say, if not favorite, maybe tied for favorite with MBL versus Heart, the Viper versus Hera, Hera versus Mr. Yo. There are so many good combinations in this game. There are just so many good players in any event. The important thing, a couple of important things, this Ankh-shaped pile of gold, this stone in the forward position for Survivalist, but not exactly easily lamed, pretty far away from the walls, although a blue monk standing right here could potentially lame villagers on the eastern part of the gold and maybe the southern part of the stone, although I don't suspect that's going to happen. Secondary gold for our Armenian, nice and secure to the back. Secondary gold, unfortunately for our Saracen, is it kind of exposed to the front. This definitely can be lamed by a monk. Stone as well. Look how close the stone is to the wall. Forget monks, a tower could even reach that, but the Saracen gold, nice and secure to the back as the Bloodless is housed, but does he really care? He's heading up to the next age off the back of 4 extra villagers. Survivalist, only with 20 vills at the moment. Let's see what he's cooking up. Usually when Survivalist doesn't go the usual, what do we want to say, 24, 25 villagers into faster castle, the gentleman is cooking something up. And so we'll see double villagers on market, 1 villager on blacksmith. So he's definitely heading up to castle age. I'm not too sure he's going to have the resources that he needs to click up unless he plans on using this structure and paying that full 30% vig, the vigorole, the interest, the exchange rate, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, he's selling wood. So now he's got the gold, gathered the food, force dropped the piggly wigglies, and Armenian off the back of 22 villagers is heading up to the castle age. Our Saracen still seconds away from clicking up, and he's going with the barracks. Okay, so in arena, aside from seeing where the resources are located, you want to make sure that forests generally don't form part of your forward wall off. And it looks like both of these players are nice and safe, because the last thing you want is a weak little birch tree that's standing between you and a Saracen onager, or even an Armenian onager. Even though they don't get siege onagers, they still do get, I believe, onagers. And the last thing is, let's compare the expansions, the side pockets. Survivalist has a big old one with a road, a very confusing road on it, and kind of the shape of Italy, it looks like, with there's Corsica and Sardinia and all these islands. There's Sicily here. That's pretty cool. The exact same thing for our Saracen has an expansion to the rear. So, to be fair, nothing too crazy here except for the Bloodless's stone location, which is very easily lamed by a tower. Has Survivalist left his base? He has. He has seen all 5 relics, and now he moves forward. Like I said, he's cooking up something. Whenever Survivalist alters the name of the game in terms of going up to castle age, you know, like a mad scientist in a lab, he's cooking something up. By the way, the Bloodless, if he had seen this, would have seen the villagers with his 1 scout, 30 HP on him, 30 HP on Survivalist scout. Bloodless, for his part, has not seen the relics. 1, 2 he's only seen. Okay. Fortified church going up. Lately, I've been thinking a lot. I mean, we've been seeing a few more games with the Armenians and the Georgians about this particular structure. I mean, it takes the same amount of time to build, but it's only 25 more wood. And it comes with a free relic automatically for the Armenians, and it also roids up the villagers for the Georgians. Anything within an 8-tile radius for them works 10% faster. And the Warrior Priest is a pretty bonkers unit. Not only does it train, I want to say, it almost half the time as a monk. I think a monk is something weird like 51, 53, 58, something. I think low 50s. Okay, well, this guy's not fighting back, and when you don't fight back in Age of Empires, you die. So the first kill of the game going to our Saracen, who draws first blood. And to be fair, that Warrior Priest did heal the scout. Will the Bloodless commit to this? No. He runs in. So, being able to train monks and Warrior Priests, especially Warrior Priests who train, I believe, in 30 seconds, I don't know, I feel like this structure should be more expensive. Let me know what you think. And I asked last time, to be fair, when we were watching an Armenian game, and I believe it was on Arena as well, do you prefer monks or Warrior Priests? I don't know. I mean, Warrior Priests still have that monk armor, which makes them take bonus damage from now light cavalry for our Saracen, who, by the way, guns down another scout. Looked for a second like this monk was healing the dead unit, and I think, wait a second, I don't think we have death resurrection spells just yet in Age of Empires. As much of a historical fantasy or fantastical historical game this is, I don't think we've got those kinds of Warcraft style spells yet. But, you know, never say never. Survivalist, by the way, having seen all 5 relics, has already gathered the first. Remember, Fortified Church does come for the Armenians with a free relic, so he's up to 2. Always changes the dynamic of things to introduce a new relic into the map, because if this Fortified Church gets destroyed, all of a sudden the Bloodless can find himself in possession of 6 or upwards of 6 relics. Survivalist with the barracks double monastery. Anytime the player, instead of going for the market blacksmith combo, puts down a barracks, you know they're going to follow it up with a stable so that they can contest relics. I missed a kill here. Of course I did. And look at this. He's getting attacked and healed at the same time. But 2 more warrior priests fall, and at only the expense of 2 scout line units. That's not bad at all. The warrior priest is, to be fair, not as expensive gold-wise as a monk. Not 100 gold for most civilizations, but it still does cost 60 gold and 30 food. In the meantime, Survivalist continuing to gather relics, even though he's down 4 kills to 2, even though his opponent is circling him to the south, to the north, to the northeast, and it looks like the Bloodless will get one of these relics. Who will get this last one here, jealously guarded by the Snow Leopard? We'll find out. But he's established himself quite a little base here. 3 villagers on stone. In the meantime, our Saracen has no stone at all. No stone miners at all. And he's down 1 villager. He looked like he was housed for a second there at 40, right up until he finished building a house. Looks like he's going to construct the second one as well. And it will be our Saracen. Okay, maybe not. Do you prefer your monks to come with weapons, or do you prefer them to come with books of knowledge? Oh my goodness. Look at the Bloodless converts the warrior priest and then uses the warrior priest to teeth the relic right from underneath the very nose of the player who was about to kill him. Snow Leopard leaps into action in the middle of all this. Keep an eye on this Snow Leopard. Make sure you do that. Ooh, it looks like he almost got that kill. And the Bloodless continues to take the kill lead. Kill advantage and returns home with 4 relics. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. I got real confused there for a second. 2 relics. 4 relics for the Armenian, 2 for the Saracen, which means stage 1 and 2 of the game are over. Stage 1 being, hey, rush your butt up to Castle Age. Stage 2 being, let's fight over the relics, which they kind of did, to be fair. Not the, perhaps, most large of battles, but battles nonetheless. And now we're in stage 3, where the players begin building their armies, expanding their economy, going up to Imperial, both of them getting devotion. Nobody wants to lose any units to any kind of conversion, and not 1, but 2 TCs going up for our Saracen, who had no stone and had to buy it. I like this location, to be fair, next to the birch, next to the stone. This one's not terrible as well, although nestled right between these structures. Not a lot of room for farming, although with this much to expand into, do you really need that much room there for farming? Will he see the villagers move out? Okay, he does catch the tail end of those villagers. Although, to be fair, he probably knows that there's villagers here as well. No eco kills for the Bloodless, even though he has had his army out on the map for the longest time. Although maybe getting a vill kill here. Just a few more whacks of the sword. Just 2 more. Yeah, he's going to get the first villager kill here. And, oh, he goes for a second greedy light cab, but he's going to get pumped full of arrows. The way fortified churches work is the exact same way as town centers. And here we go. I've said it before, I said it again, and I'll say it forever. Survivalist loves shoving things into other things in this game. And right now, he has shoved a bunch of pikemen and warrior priests into these rams. It looks like he wants to zone out the light cab with a castle, but uh-oh. In the way are the light cab themselves. Monks trying to convert whatever they can. So far, no kills except for 1 villager. That's a lot of action for a whole lot of nothing here. Okay. I mean, so far there's a lot of blue bodies on the dance floor. Right? Another villager, 3 for Survivalist. Another blue body dead. The Rams have busted their way in. There was a post on Reddit of Red Phosphor showing how you can attack 1 tile, I believe, of a wall segment with 10 villagers. 10 villagers attacking 1 wall tile segment. Survivalist sold 700 wood for 300 gold and is not training a single unit. Is he going up to Imperial? Certainly does seem like it. The Saracens do have a perfect monk line, which means they do have redemption. Unfortunately for them, when it comes to battering rams and trebuchets, you need to stand right next to the unit. Oh no! Oh no, down goes that unit. And when you stand right next to the battering ram, out will pop the warrior priests, and unlike your man with the book and a crook, they can kill. And that is exactly what's happening here. The last of the Saracen monks falls. There is one more mangonel being traded. Where is the converted? Where is this Saracen converted warrior priest? Oh my goodness, he's in the back of the base, holding the relic. As this one, sit the hell out of dodge. So Survivalist is going to go up to 5 relics. I'd like to say the Bloodless is going to go up to 1, but he's got a bit of time until he completes that monastery. And we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned castle face-off. Unfortunately for the Bloodless, did he go a little bit too economic? He's ahead 9 villagers, but Survivalist is 2 minutes away from Imperial. The Bloodless needs to suss this out. Survivalist with 5 more villagers on stone, so perhaps not a castle anytime soon. But he is slowly making his way through this base. Now, when it comes to infantry, the Armenians do have a pristine line. They have every single upgrade available to them. But to be fair, so do the Saracens. Aside from halberdiers, they have everything available to them. Perfect archer line as well. So let's see what he can accomplish here. And forget archers, Mamelukes are on the menu, and a Mameluke with its melee attack will absolutely shred through these units. Even though its range is a pathetic meager 3, 3 range is better than no range. And I think maybe Survivalist suspects that Mamelukes are coming. So composite bowmen are out. Or as our American neighbors say, composite bowmen are out. Mameluke really shouldn't be chasing into a castle. Discovers that it's there long time ago. To be fair, Mameluke is a camel unit, so it does come with a good amount of HP for the Saracens, and with 100 HP, and even your 5 attack means 20 composite bowmen needed to one-shot a camel. Survivalist buying the last of the 100 stone, hits Imperial, builds a castle, and the Bloodless wants to contest it. Mameluke's very much out of position here. Have to run around the stone, run through the villager mass. Okay, and there you go. Rams die very easily to melee because they come with negative melee armor. The problem is there's no such thing as ballistics for melee, and down goes that converted warrior priest. And when there's no ballistics for melee, it means that these camel units can throw their scimitars left, right, and center, but if a unit is moving, it may not necessarily get hit. Survivalist says, you know what, I'm just gonna leave this castle here. I have a treb, I can't repair it. No point in shoving my villagers. I know I'm down economically because I see your second town center, which is, oh my goodness, nestled right between motorboating these 2 castles. Is he going to discover the 30C? Now, whereas Survivalists, composite bowmen add arrows to the castle, these Mamelukes do not. Again, they are a melee. As much as they are ranged, they are a melee unit. Oh, how sour for Survivalist. If only his treb moved one more tile. One more tile, he would see this 3rd town center. But unfortunately, primary stone, I was talking such a big game about it being lamed from the outside. It is being lamed from the inside. Ugh. And the secondary external outside stone, I was going to say, also not really mineable. So no way for our Saracen to really repair any of these structures. Survivalist, will he see it now? He should see it. There we go. With the treb that moves and inches forward. And Survivalist putting on good amount of aggression. The Bloodless doubling down in Castle Age, doubling down on Mameluke upgrades. He does have 11 Mamelukes, which, to be fair, with Bloodlines, should be able to snipe all 4 of these trebs. I mean, they're going to lose their lives doing so, but they should be able to get all 4 of those trebs. Assuming Survivalist doesn't pop out his 11-man army here. 2 castles, 1 TC. Monastery will evict whatever relic was inside there, but pardon me, I double-clicked. I think I saw the wrong monastery. No relics in there, not in a long time. A 2nd town center will fall. 3rd one has fallen. So technically, 1st town center, 2nd and 3rd, doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, whatever number it is, they've all fallen. And even though the Bloodless has a huge villager lead in terms of percentages, about 30% bigger vill lead, He is throwing his entire civilization. Where are the Mamelukes? What the hell are they doing? They are your best unit here. Okay. I mean, the 4 Trebs are still alive. The Mamelukes have done absolutely nothing to stop the Treb push. Maybe he's relying more on his Rams to do it. But the Mamelukes are blocking the Rams. The villagers are repairing as much as they can. If only they could repair this camel unit, which is fighting against the composite bowman. Oh no, the Mameluke in terms of gold is tied for #1 most expensive unique unit, and it is trading out with a composite bowman that costs half the gold. Oh, and what a death animation right at the end of the game. But Survivalist lately, when he puts on the early game aggression, watch out. Takes the W, and like I suspected, there's something odd with the 2022 push upwards. And he was cooking up something. He was cooking up the center. He got the relics. Now the question is, did he need to get the relics? Was the relic gathering an integral part of going up to Imperial, selling all his wood, going up castles, Trebs? Was this really necessary, or is this just a flex out of our Armenian? I really wonder. It did give him 2,000 extra gold over his opponent in terms of relic gold. 2,500 extra gold is not a bad thing to have, but, or maybe it was like a psyop against the Saracen. Hey, I think you think I'm can let you get all the relics for free? Nuh-uh. But did he really need this? This is a lot. This is 400 wood, say 500 wood, even more, that he didn't really need to spend unless he just wanted to get the warrior priests out, in which case, okay, fine, now you've got your infantry unit. But to be fair, the composite bowmen are probably something you can double down on instead of the warrior priests. I mean, how many kills does the warrior priests have? 18. Okay, never mind. 5 for the composite bowmen. So maybe in terms of gathering relics, not the most relevant part of the strategy, but in terms of pumping out warrior priests, it is. I'm just curious. Survivalist is somebody who very much likes to optimize and be as efficient as possible, similar to like Red Phosphor. To be fair, similar to all these high elo pro players. And so I'm wondering if this is an unnecessary step or if it's a necessary step just to have the infantry. Although with the barracks in Castle Age, you do have access to champions, halberdiers, although halberdiers does take away 600 freaking gold from going up to Imperial. So doesn't really matter. That's a question for Survivalist to answer for himself. What matters is, doesn't matter 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, whatever the combination on the lock is, all 3 town centers are down, both castles are down, all the infrastructure except for 2 siege workshops is down, and you do have a few villagers on gold, but that was just an absolute disastrous engagement at the end there for our Saracen, whose Mamelukes were busy running around and could have easily killed, especially with forging those 4 Trebs. I like that our Armenian brought the 2 Trebs back, so even if he loses 2, if the Bloodless wanted to attack into this, he would be taking castle fire from 2 castles, and some of them have composite bowmen inside with extra arrows. So, like I said, lately when Survivalist puts on the early game aggression, he tends to get the W, and he tends to do it quite well. And it is pretty damn scary. I think betrayed a little bit was the Bloodless by the location of his internal and external stone. Survivalist has nicely lamed both of them, which means no more castle, which means no more Mameluke, which means no more chance in hell to stop this push, especially since Survivalist ran his ass up to Imperial, now has enough stone even for another castle, only off the back of 19. I mean, this is a pathetically small army count. Even for a game that didn't last very long, 34 minutes. This is very small, both players, very small army counts. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. Pro players around 89 plus APM. So the Bloodless 95, Survivalist, both of them looks like the beginning of the game. Economically, yeah, when you remove the relics, the lead is even bigger for our Saracen. Not surprising with more villagers, with more town centers. But unfortunately, playing economic against this push didn't work out for him because, it's not an open map. Maybe on Arabia, where he could expand somewhere here or maybe somewhere up here, it would have been better, assuming, the forests aren't there. But on a closed map where you're squeezed in, and it looks like the map even is against him. Look at the little peninsula here of trees, and here as well, just jutting into his base, forcing this little narrow area. Although, to be fair, if he wanted to, he could have put a town center over here and kept them safe. But no, everything was in the forward position for our Saracen, which means those Trebs had a hell of a time getting rid of everything. 6 conversions to 0 is pretty darn cool. 15 raisings to 0 is pretty darn cool as well, though. And at the end of the day, despite killing 3 villagers initially, he lost 13. Total kill count for Survivalist, a lot more than his opponent percentage-wise. But again, not a long game, but a fun strategic game. And I ask you again, was this a necessary step just to pump out those warrior priests? Or could Survivalists have finished this game 2, 3, 4 minutes earlier by just ignoring the relics and dumping this initial castle here, or maybe here where he wanted to? He's probably very happy that those light cavalry came here and stopped him from building this castle, because this one actually lames the stone. I don't think a castle down here would have lamed that stone, which means the Bloodless potentially could have mined some stone up here. It looks like somebody... No, just the image. I thought this pile looked a little smaller and a little depleted, but no, it's just the image. Survivalist with the early aggression takes the W, but what a fun matchup. So GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.